Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about Tim Tebow and his return to the NFL. Before we hop into the content of today's video, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video if you guys do enjoy it. We're on the road to 700 subscribers. I think we're about 25 away. So if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And with all that being said, let's get into the video about Tim Tebow and his return to the National Football League. While I'm recording this video, the draft is 3 hours away, and the news we've gotten leading up to it is astronomical. At around 2 o'clock, it was reported that Tim Tebow recently worked out for the Jaguars, and there has been at least some discussion of him signing, and apparently he's a tight end now. But of course, all of this news kind of got buried down below when Aaron Rodgers dropped a bombshell on the entire NFL saying that he wanted out of Green Bay. So this Tim Tebow story, which kind of was getting a lot of press a few hours ago, completely is now in the wasteland. And nobody's really talking about Tim Tebow and his return, and I think it's a pretty interesting story to cover. The Aaron Rodgers news is insane. It's still a brand new story, and we're going to have to see how it develops. I don't think anytime soon Rodgers will be moving away from the Packers. But since most people were covering the Aaron Rodgers story, I wanted to shed some light on Tim Tebow and his actual return to the NFL. Tim Tebow hasn't played in the NFL since 2012. He's jumped around to a few teams since then. I think he was on the Eagles practice squad in 2015. We all know that he worked out for the Patriots and I think was on their practice squad as well, but he's never actually played a game for those teams, and the last time he, actually played was with the New York Jets in 2012. Tim Tebow's career didn't go as many thought it would. The two-time Heisman Trophy finalist, he was not very successful in the NFL as a quarterback. He brought the Broncos to the playoffs, but he only completed 3 passes, and immediately after that season, Peyton Manning came knocking on the door for the Broncos, and that's when they kind of moved off of Tim Tebow. He then moved to the Jets, and the Jets didn't really see him as a quarterback. They wanted to move him to tight end because they thought that fit his skill set better, and Tim Tebow really wasn't having it. After a year with the Jets, he thought he'd go to the Patriots and maybe try out the tight end experiment. Tim Tebow didn't make the team for the Patriots and just decided to hang it up and go on with a different route of his career. We all know that Tim Tebow then went to College Football Analyst. He was a fantastic reporter and broadcaster for, the College Football Network. And it was pretty cool to have a guy that was very successful in college and one of the greatest college quarterbacks we've ever seen talk about the sport, every Saturday. But then Tim Tebow wanted to chase a dream that he's had since he was a little kid, and that was actually playing professional baseball. For the past few years, we've seen Tim Tebow play for the Mets, and although he hasn't made it up to the major leagues, it's still pretty cool to see somebody who never, played college baseball actually go through, the minors and build his way up to being a pretty decent, player. And it's pretty inspiring to other people that if you have a dream, you're going to chase it. And that's exactly what Tim Tebow did. He was an NFL quarterback, then he became an analyst, and then he went to the MLB, and now he's thinking about making a return to the National Football League. According to Adam Schefter, Tim Tebow recently reached out to the Jaguars and requested a tryout at the tight end position, a move many believe would have extended his NFL career if he made the transition earlier. He recently worked out with the Jaguars tight end coach, but no decision has been made yet if he's actually going to officially be signed by the Jaguars. Now, why would Tim Tebow want to actually return to the Jaguars? Well, you got to think that he did play college football at Florida, and his old coach Urban Meyer is also going to be there, so he has a lot of connections and ties to the Jaguars, and maybe he can produce, or maybe he can just be there and just be a nice role model for a young team that they have in Jacksonville. Ian Rappaport made a good point that for years, Tim Tebow has resisted the shift to tight end, but now at 33 years old, Tim Tebow could return to his hometown team. Now, that is another thing to keep in mind, that Tim Tebow is 33 years old, so we don't know how successful he's going to be long-term or if he can even make the team for the Jaguars. I just think it's very interesting that he's going to even try out for them and attempt to make the team. He's been away for football for almost 10 years now, and I just think it's really awesome that he's going to try to make a return. I think if a few years ago he tried to do the Taysom Hill role like with the Saints, where he can catch passes, he can throw, he can also run the read option, do a lot of different things for a team that could use him as a gadget player, I think Tim Tebow could have had a role in the NFL, but as we know, he didn't really want to do that. But I think now he may be looking forward to actually doing that role. Tim Tebow is not the biggest guy. He's 6'3", around 240. Is that really big enough to be a tight end? Well, I guess we're going to have to wait and see if he can bulk up even more to actually be able to block and handle people on the line. If Tim Tebow did get signed by the Jacksonville Jaguars, I don't think that he would be, a receiving threat all the time. I definitely see him as a gadget player like Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill has the tight end as his position, but we all know he doesn't really play as a tight end. He's not blocking on the edge, and he's not going out for passes every single snap. He's got a very limited role, and he's used as a gadget player to do different special things within Sean Payton's offense, and maybe that's what Tim Tebow can go into with Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars. A lot of people are not putting a lot of stock into this report because Tim Tebow has hinted towards an NFL return a few times now, hasn't successfully gotten back into the league. I think the story is something to look out for the next few weeks. I mean, he is working out with the Jaguars tight end coach, and he has a tie with Urban Meyer for the Jaguars. I could see him getting signed probably after the draft, and once the Jaguars figure out the rest of their holes on the team. But that's pretty much the entire story. Tim Tebow had a workout with the Jaguars and their tight end coach, and he could potentially be making a return. This has been about 10 years in the making, and I think it would bring an interesting storyline to the 2021 and 2022 NFL season. But let me know what you guys think of Tim Tebow, and if he would be a productive player in the NFL again, and if the Jaguars should even bring him in. But anyway, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it. The NFL draft starts in a couple hours, and I'm starting to get really excited for it. So be looking for some draft videos. If there's some crazy things that happen, I may come out with a video later tonight. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time.